Have you ever walked into your home and felt the air heavy, almost suffocating, even when everything seemed in order? Have you ever noticed that some days, even after cleaning, organizing and putting everything in its proper place, the feeling is that something invisible still bothers you? Often, it's not material dirt, but energetic dirt. But could your home be carrying negative energy without you even realizing it? Many people live in an environment where the furniture is well arranged. The walls are painted, everything seems to be in order, but the soul of the house is sick. And when the house gets sick, its residents get sick too. Have you ever noticed that sometimes arguments break out for no apparent reason? That small frictions, irritations, and disagreements occur with increasing frequency? Perhaps it's not just human behavior, but a reflection of the vibrations that permeate the space. It's as if the walls absorb our feelings. The home registers joy, but also holds pain, fear, anger, and heavy words. If there's no energetic cleansing, these marks linger in the air, gradually transforming the house into a place of exhaustion rather than refuge. How many times have you arrived tired and instead of resting felt like you were carrying an even heavier weight inside your own home? Negative energy doesn't just arrive from the residents. Often it arrives with visitors carrying ill intentions, envy, jealousy, or simply dense vibrations that, without realizing it, settle into the environment. Other times it comes from old conflicts, intense fights, or moments of pain experienced within those walls. It's as if the house has a memory, and what isn't healed remains lingering, demanding attention. What about you? Have you noticed signs like plants that wilt without explanation, animals that avoid certain corners, light bulbs that constantly burn out, or objects that fall out of nowhere? These small details, when ignored, can be your home's silent cry for help. Have you been listening to these signs? Heavy energy can also manifest itself in residents' sleep. Sleepless nights, recurring nightmares, a feeling of oppression when lying down. All of these can be a reflection of the charged environment. How many times have you woken up more tired than when you went to sleep? How many times have you woken up in the middle of the night with the feeling you weren't alone? These are questions many prefer to ignore, but which carry profound spiritual answers. And don't think this is just imagination. Energy is real, even if invisible. Just as you feel the vibration of a song or the heavy atmosphere in a place where a fight has just broken out, your home vibrates too. The problem is when this vibration gets stuck at a low frequency, draining the strength and joy of those who live there. Have you ever noticed that in some homes you walk in and immediately feel an inexplicable sense of peace? In others, you just need to step inside to feel your chest tighten. This isn't coincidence, it's energy. What does your home convey to those who arrive? More importantly, what does it convey to you who live there every day? Sometimes negative energy reveals itself in simple things. Food that spoils too quickly, electronic devices that keep breaking, an eerie silence that seems to bring restlessness instead of rest. Other times, it manifests itself in people's behavior, who become more tense, nervous, or even ill when they're indoors. Have you ever noticed this happening to yourself or your family? Many believe that a home is merely a physical space, but it is a living organism. And like any organism, it needs care, nourishment, and protection. If your home is burdened, if negativity is taken hold, it's not enough to simply open the window and let the sunshine in. You need to open your heart and seek spiritual protection. But before protecting, we must recognize. The question is, do you know how to identify the signs that your home is crying out for help? Are you willing to look beyond what meets the eye and perceive what the soul of your home is trying to tell you? Because the truth is simple. Fraught houses don't call for silence, they call for action. And if you ignore the signs, the negative energy will continue to grow, turning what should be a shelter into an invisible battlefield. So stop and reflect. Is your home a home of light, or is it being consumed by negative energies? One of the most obvious signs that The house is loaded is the feeling of heaviness in the air. You enter a room and suddenly feel as if the air is too dense, as if there's an invisible pressure on your chest. This sensation doesn't come from temperature or humidity, but from accumulated energy. Many people describe it as difficult to breathe, even in a clean, airy place. Have you ever walked into a room in your own home and felt the urge to leave quickly for no apparent reason? This is a warning sign. Another very common sign is the sudden change in the mood of the residents in a tense home. It's as if irritation hangs in the air. Pointless arguments erupt, small things turn into major conflicts, and the atmosphere never seems harmonious. Have you ever noticed that on certain days, all it takes is for you to walk in the door and your patience runs out, as if an invisible magnet is pulling your emotions down? This is negative energy working silently. Plants and pets are also spiritual thermometers. Plants that wilt despite proper care, flowers that fail to thrive, leaves that dry out without explanation. All of these can be reflections of the energy of the environment. Animals, with their natural sensitivity, avoid certain spaces, become restless, or show fear for no apparent reason. Has your cat ever stared blankly at an empty corner of the house? Has your dog ever growled or barked at something you couldn't see? These behaviors aren't accidental. They're reactions to what escapes our eyes. But not to energy. Frequency of broken objects or electronics burning is another classic sign. If light bulbs keep popping, appliances malfunction repeatedly, or things fall over on their own, it could be more than just bad luck. Negative energy also affects the electrical and material fields, creating a kind of instability within the home. And when this happens repeatedly, it's as if the house itself is signaling that something isn't right. A strong indication is also in the strange sounds and movements, cracking sounds in the walls at night, light footsteps, doors closing by themselves, or that feeling that someone is always nearby, even when you know you're alone. These phenomena are energetic manifestations that indicate that the environment is demanding attention. Have you ever heard something in your home and been certain there was no logical explanation? Another very powerful sign is the "I'm disturbed." In homes with heavy loads, residents often experience sleepless nights, recurring nightmares, or even the feeling of being watched while they sleep. You might wake up tired, feel chills in the middle of the night, or even hear your own name being called. This isn't just a product of the mind, but a reflection of the home's spiritual field, which is somehow out of balance. Also pay attention to the emotional state after spending time at home when your energy is heavy. Even simple activities like watching TV or resting don't bring relief. Instead, you feel exhausted, powerless, and often unmotivated to do anything. It's as if the space is draining your vitality. How many times have you left home and realized that outside your mood was better than inside? This is a clear sign that something needs to be addressed energetically. Another striking detail is sensation of shadow or invisible presence. Some people report seeing shadows quickly passing through the corners of their eyes. Others describe sudden chills without physical cause. It's as if something surrounds them but doesn't fully reveal itself. These signs shouldn't be ignored, as they indicate that the home is vulnerable to dense spiritual influences. And finally, perhaps the most painful sign, succession of problems in the lives of residents in burdened homes. It seems like everything goes wrong. Fragile health, financial difficulties, constant family fights, collective discouragement. It's as if the home were a magnet for negativity, affecting every aspect of the lives of those who live there. Have you ever felt that problems have increased after moving or after some significant event within your home? This is one of the most serious warning signs. None of these signs happen by chance. They are clear manifestations that the environment is asking for protection, for light, for spiritual intervention. The question is, are you willing to hear these requests? If you see any of these signs in your home, don't be afraid. Negative energy is no stronger than light, but it needs to be Faced with awareness, the first step is spiritual cleansing of the environment. Start simple. Open windows and doors. Let the air circulate and let the sunlight in. The sun is one of nature's most powerful purifiers, and its presence already dissipates much of the accumulated density. As you do this, visualize that everything bad is being carried away, like dust carried away by the wind. Then, use the power of Sal Grosso. Place small glass containers filled with water and coarse salt in the corners of your rooms, especially near the entrance and your bedroom. Salt absorbs heavy vibrations and acts as a natural shield against negative energy. Change the container every 7 days, always disposing of the water down a drain, never in the garden or on plants. Another essential practice is the use of natural incense or herbal smoking light incense sticks of sage, rue, rosemary, or myrrh, and walk calmly through your home, passing through each room, every corner, every door and window. As the smoke spreads, say a prayer or simply say out loud, "May all negative energy be dispelled. May only light remain in this home." You'll notice how much lighter the atmosphere becomes afterward. A prayer is one of the most powerful resources and should never be underestimated. Gather your family if possible and pray aloud, consecrating the home to divine light. One of the most recommended psalms is Psalm 91, known as the Psalm of Protection, which creates a spiritual field of defense around a home. If you prefer, create your own words, always with faith. May this house be blessed, may no shadow remain, may only goodness dwell here. Furthermore, the power of protective plants, it's ancestral. Have rue, snake plant, sagebrush, or basil in your home. These plants act as silent guardians, filtering negative energy and creating a vibrational field of balance. Place them near the front door, on windowsills, and in places where you feel the heaviest. Another effective practice is fluidified, or blessed water. Place a glass of water on a table, say a prayer asking for its blessing, and then use this water to spray the corners of your home. Water is a conductor of spiritual energy and carries the power of intention. This simple gesture can transform the vibe of an entire space. The psalm also has power. Soft music, mantras, chants, or even sounds of nature such as running water or birdsong can harmonize energy. Sound creates waves that travel through space and dissolve stagnant stasis. Have you ever tried playing prayer music while cleaning the house? You'll feel the difference immediately. And let's not forget candlelight. Light a white candle in a safe place, asking the flame to represent the presence of divine light in your home. The candle is not just a physical object, but a point of connection with the spiritual, a way to materialize the intention of clarity and protection. For those who wish to reinforce this even further, you can do the following. Circle of protection. With coarse salt and prayer, sprinkle salt on the door and window frames, praying that no evil may cross that boundary. Imagine an invisible circle being created around your home, closing the gaps through which negative energy could enter. But remember, none of this is useful if the residents don't take care of their own emotions. The home reflects what dwells in their hearts. Therefore, maintain habits of gratitude, respect, affection, and faith. An aggressive word can tarnish the energy of a home, while a loving gesture can purify it completely. True protection arises from what you vibrate every day, and when all this is done consistently, the transformation is real. The heaviness disappears, peace returns, sleep becomes deep and restorative, and even life begins to flow better, because a spiritually clean home becomes a refuge, a fortress against any shadow.